Okay, so this is how to turn an expander, and then we'll go over troubleshooting some problems that are common with expanders and how to find the little hole. So first off, this is an expander before we make it in the lab. Here's what it looks like in the patient's mouth once it's made. But I'll show you this to show you the different parts. So you'll see right here there are three kind of pins that go through. There's a smooth one, a screw type, and then another smooth one. So the screw type one here in the center, you'll see it has this little wheel with holes in it. So that's how this works. So you turn it with this little thing right here. This part pivots. So what you'll do when you go to turn the expander, you'll put this fairly straight like that. And then in the person's mouth who has the expander, what you want to do is get this into that little hole right there. So you kind of find it and you move it around, and then you'll feel it kind of drop into place like that. So you'll put it in there and then you'll move it around and you'll feel it clunk, drop into place. And then what you'll do is you'll just push straight back like this. As you push back, it will turn that little wheel. And then you push until it stops you. This little arm will hit that pin in the back and it will stop you. And then you take it out, pushing toward the back of the person's mouth like this. One common mistake is that people will get it in the front, they'll push it toward the back like this and turn it, and then when they go to pull it out, they'll pull it forward at least part of the way and then take it out. So what that does is it makes it so that this next hole is not visible. So what you got to do in that case is find that hole again, drop it in there, complete the turn, and then take it out toward the back of the mouth. If you do that, this next hole is now visible and you can use it to expand. So in the patient's mouth, what this looks like is same thing, except it's up on the roof of the mouth. So you'll have them open wide. If you need to get your cell phone light or a flashlight or something to be able to see that little hole, it's going to be right there in the middle. You set it in that hole, move it around till it kind of drops into place. You can kind of see it drop into place, plunk, just like that. And then you push, this is on the cast that doesn't widen, so then you'll push toward the back of the mouth and it will activate that little screw. You push until it stops you, then you take it out toward the back of the mouth, and then you're ready for the next turn. A couple of things to keep in mind as far as patient comfort goes and what to expect with the experience. It's very normal. We like to see a space form between these two front teeth, because what's happening is this is separating the two halves of the top jaw, and half the teeth are on one side and half the teeth are on the other side, and so a gap should form between these two front teeth. So that's very normal. Also, when we activate this, it's normal to feel some pressure, because what it's doing is it's pushing those two halves of that jaw apart. So it's very little each time, but you'll feel some pressure. That's very normal. You can take whatever you normally take for headaches, ibuprofen or Tylenol, if you need anything for that. Another thing is when food gets caught up here, you want to rinse it out with water or brush it with your toothbrush. You don't want to get up in there with your tongue, or it can pop this out if the tongue gets between the roof of the mouth and the expander. If anything can wiggle or wobble, call right away and we'll get you an appointment as soon as we can to get it put back into place. Sometimes the pressure will build up, and then it's pretty rare, but every now and again you'll have somebody where the pressure will build and then all of a sudden they hear in their head like a pop or a crack. And what that is, and then the pressure will be relieved. So what that is when you get to be old enough, those two halves start to fuse together. So with a little bit of pressure, it builds up pressure, and then it pops loose. That's what that crack sound is. So it's not your teeth breaking off or anything like that. No need to worry. That's very, very normal. Usually the next day or later that night, you'll see that gap has started to form after you hear that crack or that pop. That doesn't happen for everybody, but every now and again it will happen. So don't be alarmed if that happens.